Miles, if you want to bring up some photos now and talk about Germany and or anything that you've got there, I'm more than happy to do that.
Well, I think. Are you familiar with the film Outpost? The Outpost
Sorry,
series. The Outpost series.
Outpost. Now that rings a bell, but no, not off the
Underground-based
top.
secret esoteric technologies. What I'm considering is, can you remember while we're on this, what your
Yeah.
what you were what you did? Has anybody given you any past life things? What were those crimes you did apart from just going around
I
doing
don't,
things?
look. She said that she had visions of me, bleeding, but still bleeding, but still crawling forward to attack the enemy. Like that. She said that some of the things that I do in this life, like the discipline, the ability to kind of train myself into the ground, when I was a bit younger, sometimes if I couldn't open a packet of or CD case or whatever, I'd get the garage door open and just brute strength, and end up breaking it. She goes, "This is why you use brute strength to get your way," and these types of things. So she said a lot of those traits came through that your mum and dad haven't taught you, that you just do these things for a reason. So when I make my bed and at night time, and sometimes girls that I've been like to call the blanket round their feet and it's all loose. Not me, mate. It is tight, tucked in, nearly. Sometimes I tuck my girl in and she's like, "I can't breathe," because it's just nuts, just tight. I don't want any kind of like looseness, sheets around
Hospital
it.
corners, as they
Yeah,
call.
so just yeah, tight, mate. Like German, aggressively tight. No one's going to roll out of bed,
They'll
Um,
just
but
never
yeah,
breathe again. Well, I've
yeah,
got
mate.
okay. This is our presentation that you've given. Just a
Okay, nice.
couple of little
Oh,
things. So we'll go back to that and move it forward. Right. This is
okay,
photographs were sort of received. I hope they're in the right order with the right caption. I hope you can see
yeah,
that. Okay. And I've blown up
yes,
the. That's the text that came with these. So
yes,
I'll read it just in case you can't see it. Quite often, I have reptilian eyes in pictures. My soul is a white-winged reptilian with red eyes. I dream
yeah,
I'm in this form. And then there's another bit from around the eye. But do
yeah,
you want to
yeah. So,
describe that? You've only just sent those this morning, so
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So basically, there's a lot more. If I go through my Facebook, my right eye generally will be vertical in photos. Now, myself and my partner either Draco or it's been suggested fallen angels. So whether the fallen angels that fell with Lucifer are actually extraterrestrial beings
Now,
that
it's
with
important that can you specify exactly what those are? Because can you get down on that?
well
Can you drill down as to those precise entities that you're talking
well
about?
well my like I resonate. And I know that I'm a white Draco with red eyes. 14'8", white scales. Even at one point when I had one of those near-death experiences, and I was kind of going down a tunnel and towards the light, and it took all of my fibre of my being to kind of pull back because I didn't want to go yet, and I was kind of being sucked, kind of pulling back, and my head, there was that much force that my head was pulled down, and when I looked down, I had that kind of a three-toed, and I saw the white scales on my leg. So I also there has been people when I was running around homeless after the bank transactions came out in 2017. I used to walk through I just start doing good deeds and like at the hospital or whatever. And sometimes there'd be all this mail had blown out of this group of mailboxes at this kind of apartment complex, and I'll just pick them up and like go into the numbered houses and kind of put them on the doorstep, just deliver their mail and keep going, and. When I was kind of walking through there one time, a guy, kind of come out of his house. He goes, hey, mate, and it was kind of aggressive. Hey, guys, come here. I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. I was like, right. And at the same time, this other guy rode up on a bicycle. He's a fully grown man. And he said, because he saw this other guy. And so this guy kind of came up with him. I don't know whether they knew each other or what, but they're obviously from the street. They go, hey, mate. They go, hey, because we need to talk to you. Like, what are you doing? We've seen you. You come in to my dad's house, and what's the go, mate? I said, just delivering some of your mail, mate. That like it was addressed, and like I found it all over the floor, near the mailboxes. So I just sort of bring it in and just drop it at your doorstep, And these guys at first are kind of quite aggressive, and then like I kind of like. Yeah, they kind of just like almost straight away they sat down on the grass like almost like school kids eating their play lunch. They're very, very submissive. So because they said like what's your story? You coming to my dad's house and what are you doing here? Who are you? I said, oh look man. I said situation is like I've lost my business. I said I've been taken to the hospital by police. I've basically been made homeless. I can't go home, even though I'm the protected person, that address with a restraining order. If I go there, they pick me up. And I said, and they kind of said, oh, okay, righto, see you. They listen to my story. And I said, I just want to go home and read my books. And because I had two books that I bought myself because, I was a bit of a loser, not many friends. And I thought, this year's birthday, I'm going to buy myself a gift. And I bought myself a couple of books from Dr. Michael Sala, which he actually personally signed. And unfortunately, it was during that period that I was carrying it. I was like, when I just, we're going to get through this. I'm going to have somewhere to put my head down, and I'm going to read these books back to front. And, and I told these guys, I said, look, I just want to lie down because I said I'm tired, because I was walking and that, and they go, okay, yeah, no worries, all right. We just didn't know who you were, mate. Because they go, you appear different on camera, don't you? I mean, I said, yeah, I do, don't I? Because I just said, oh yeah, I know. And they kind of said, yeah, you don't look like you on camera, kind of thing. And they were saying that I come in looking like a different type of entity, like they were saying almost like like the camera footage would freeze up and flicker, and they'd see almost my body, but then almost like a second form, like overshadowing me, or like, but not kind of complete, if you know what I mean. And it was enough to obviously freak him out that they came out like during the day when I was walking through, and they said, hey mate, and they were kind of aggressive at first, but it was kind of false. They kind of they were pretty scared of they happen to mention, they talk about it, you don't look like yourself on the camera, do you? You look different, And I think that's a frequency thing, because when you get your frequency high enough.
Why do you say that's a frequency thing? Is it your attitude, or what? I mean, what makes that physical photograph different because of your attitude?
Well, you know what, Miles, at that point in time, I was actually, I'd been learning a lot from the Gnostic Gospels and stuff. I'm an adult baptism, which we can go back to some of those demonic entities. And the week that I got baptized is very cliched spiritual experience. We can talk about that in a minute. But it was just, even though I was losing everything, and kind of I knew my company was being folded up like a pram by the people that were back at my house.
Just very, very briefly, for those who haven't seen part one, could you just give like a 30-second rundown of what happened that you've, okay.
Okay, so quick crash course in what happened to Crawford and his supplement company. We were open for 5 years. We never had a bad month. We were doing great. Anyway, we buy and sell foreign currency, or trade foreign currency to buy foreign products. Crawford opens up his global dealer account one day, and there's 72 pages of trillions of dollars of transactions, not mine. I'm like, what is this? This is not good. And brought it to the bank's attention, and, what do you know? Next minute, there's attempted murder. I'm kicked out of my house. There's welfare checks from the police everywhere. And I basically, during this 2 months, I was walking the streets because I couldn't go home. It became a bit of a just staying one step ahead and trying to survive. And there was some attempts on my life, and there has been previous, because of this, because it's so big. and obviously the reference numbers in there match the accounts where the what looks like money laundering, the washing foreign currency. Anyway, so this is where my life spiraled out of control. So anyway, I'm on the street, and I guess that was the cross that I took up, was that I was like, I'm not taking a backward step, Miles. I was like, the police, they were coming to put fear in me. They tried to, like there's those 3 missing days where I was on the 22nd of December, passed away at the hospital. My mate reckons he picked me up on the 26th. I went home on the 23rd. Time was ripped askew.
Yeah, in other words, your tag that you got at the hospital has got a different date than you were officially released.
Yeah, I know what was going on, because you know why? It was my baptismal birthday. So I actually got baptized on the 22nd of December in 2013 as a Lutheran. I joined the Lutheran Church, and this was the 22nd of December in 2017. So esoterically, I was 4 years old, but yeah, I know what date I was taken into hospital, and I actually went home on the 23rd. I had a great Christmas at home, happy to be alive. Felt like I just cheated death. Anyway, everyone else had a different version of what had actually transpired, and so the hospital ban was the 22nd. My housemate 22nd. The missus and best mate drove me home on the 23rd, my reality. But he said, no, mate, I come and got you on the 27th. Come down there on the 26th, and, came in, and they kind of wrestled, the cops wrestled him. They ripped him out of the room. And incidentally, James Rink's intuitive Jessica Ariel Morocco said that some of those police that were coming to pick me up were tall whites. She said that they weren't human. So
now, when did that happen? Exactly.
2017, December.
Because I gather the tall whites have been taken out. They're no longer present on this planet, wiped out totally.
Really? Oh, well, good. Yeah, good, because they weren't.
As of the California fires in Paradise.
Okay. All right. Well, there's some in Australia, because they were dressed as police, and they had names that just they were fake. You know what I mean? Like. There's a Zimbabwean cricketer named Andy Blignort, and anyway, there's this big, tall, muscly guy that had black hair and black eyebrows, but like Pepe Le Pew, he had a fucking Anyway, going back to what I was saying about the esoterical stuff, that I was just living my life in love frequency. Even though I was walking the streets, the police had come, and they kept on taking my shoes. So every time they would arrest me, and there's also another, like one time because I wouldn't sleep at night time, because I just didn't feel safe, like putting my head down somewhere. And because during this time, I was pretty proud to say that I never my morals, and that I didn't steal anything. I didn't do any crime. If I was hungry, it didn't matter. I kind of ended up being a bit of a spiritual walk. And like, if there was somebody, somebody handed me and I was really hungry, and somebody handed me a sandwich. Like there's the Indigo Junction, great charity. One night they gave me a chicken. I asked if there's any beds there, and they said no. They came out, and they fed me, and if there was someone else that looked like they needed a feed, I'd give it straight to them. And I put every person ahead of myself, I put everyone else before me. And it got to the point, Miles, where there was actually great power being gained from every interaction, where I would do the right thing for someone else and make it about them or whatever. And sometimes it's even just like greeting someone, oh, hey mate, how are you? And and they're almost shocked that someone's asking how they are. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And you don't know this person, but just brief interaction. And this is where I think, there's breatharians where they can live off energy and sunlight, and some of them haven't eaten for 2 years or whatever. It's crazy, but that kind of frequency from that person, or that it kind of raises your vibration. And because sometimes, because I was that fatigued from hunger, and I'll be like, sometimes I just want to keel over and go to sleep. And during the day, I'd be at a park. I'd have my bag as a pillow, and I'd get some shut eye, and but yeah, it was just through fatigue. Sometimes I'll be that tired, and then come out and I have this positive interaction with someone, and it might just be just a quick conversation, and all of a sudden it's like a shot of adrenaline, and you've that energy or that what you've kind of absorbed from them kind of just gives you that kick, and you can live on that, I think. But just going back to the frequency, like it gets to the point where you kind of, I don't know whether it's you're raising your vibration or your frequency is getting strong enough from it's a combination of no fear, like not just being fearless, and not doing everything out of love, and putting everyone above yourself. So when the police would kind of arrest me and stuff like this, their radios would malfunction, like their phones would malfunction right at the right time for me. My phone, which would sometimes be flat, and I hadn't charged it for 2 days. When I needed it to turn on to show someone something, it was like my phone. I used to say the phone runs on my frequency. Like when it needs to come on, it turns on. And even at one police station, they, because I had a restraining order on a partner that I wanted away from my business, out of my house, and gone. Anyway, there's a 21-day interim period, and then you go to court. If she contested it, you don't want this person in your life. Go away, get out, and then so you get the law to remove them. And that person says, you know what? No, I'm going to contest that. I mean, really? Anyway, so the date was January 2. But she's gone down and had a sook to the police prosecutor, the local police prosecutor, who said, and I actually got an audio recording of this, don't ask me how, but he did her a car park deal where he said, well, we can put you in on the 13th of December and reverse his VRO, violence restraining order that he's got on you. And look, I'm thinking when I'm hearing this, well, hang on a minute, I've gone down and got a restraining order on this person. It's the law is protecting me because I've said I need this person out of my house. So she's gone and had a sook, and he's gone, well, you know what, because you're fluttering your eyes at me and you've got a pair of boobs, we're going to put you in on the December 13th. Don't worry about the law. We'll just screw him over. And she goes, you just need to make a statement about him. She goes, well, what kind of statement? She goes, anything. Anyway, so I get arrested for a common assault. So it's a bogus assault charge, and I think I bailed out of the watch house, which is the city. When you get arrested for something, I was breaching a police order, and that was a police order that was put on
for what exactly? Like, what sort of police order? If we get down to it, I've got another slide here. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's a move on notice for 72 hours. I got moved on from my own house because that same housemate that was confirmed the 2020, he was suffering from heart problems and stress. He collapsed. I call an ambulance, right? The police come and they moved me on from my own house. So I went and got the violence restraining order. I came back and they said, go out to the property, call the police, wait for the van to come, and they'll come in and remove her, and you'll go in, and the rest is history. So these guys, same guys from the hospital that had drugged me, they were military contractors. Anyway, so they come along, and I was like, oh, it's you guys from the hospital. No worries, here's my VRO. Go get rid of her. And they kind of walk in, walk out, arrest me for breaching a police order. I was like, oh, I've waited till after that's over. The 3 days are over. I'm protected here. No, off I go to the watch house, and then to be bailed out straight into the hands of Ellenbrook Police. I'm arrested for common assault that I didn't do. So they take me back to their station, right? So going back to the frequency thing, I'm going, fellas, what are you doing? You can't do this. I haven't done this. This is bullshit. And I'm standing at the desk, and this guy's kind of putting into the computer, and he goes, oh, mate, do you still live in Esperance? I said, Esperance, which is far south. It's country WA. But Esperance, I said, I lived in Esperance. I kind of looked looked on the computer and a photo of it wasn't even me. I said, mate, that's not even me. Like, and these are the types of things that your frequency would just, interrupt and electrical goods and technology right at the right time for me. But another thing I found that I could
So
use.
exactly, are you saying that because you had a different frequency in your rating in some kind of different frequency of some kind,
Yeah.
that actually disrupted the minds of the police and the computer, or both, or all three?
You're kind of interfering with the electrical technology and stuff. But on that point that you said, like, your frequency gets strong enough that like there's almost a little bit of mind control to what you can do with people. You're kind of telling them what they're going to say, and then they kind of sit there and go. Because like one day when I was kind of locked in the observation cell of the police station, because I worked out that if you put someone into fear frequency, like rah, 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 and they in fear, like they become very submissive. And if you calm down straight away, you can almost like control them and say, okay, mate, you're just going to, walk me to the computer. And they go, oh, mate, we'll come over to the computer. And they say it as though they've thought of it. But you've said it 10 seconds before they, go, mate, you're going to let me out of here, aren't you, mate? Oh, mate, we're going to let you out of here real soon, okay, buddy? And he can't remember that I've just said that to him and he's said it back to me. And this is what was going on, and it was quite boring, Miles, because you could almost go control any situation, and it became boring. I mean, imagine if you could just.
So how were you trained in that? Where did you get that information to be trained? How did that work? That you were.
I know it's just when the police first started coming to my place about the bank transactions. My fear for my life made me go to, I'll go and meet, so I'll run into the fire, and so I think the first day I come bowling out the front door, and it's like, you can't arrest me, rah, 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 like this to this police. These guys were Afghan veterans, and they kind of froze. I don't think police are used to people running from them or kind of freezing. And I don't think they were just about to knock on the door, and because my door was wide open, I kind of looked through the window and saw them coming. I was like, I've tried to report this to major fraud. I tried to get it, and they've not. I was ringing 000, they wouldn't respond to my house. It's like I was off the grid, and then
what's 000? What emergency service is that?
That's emergency. So it's illegal for them not to respond. It's our fire, ambulance, and police, and they ask you which one you want. And, they're supposed to send out. Because, I mean, there was fist fights out the front of my house, which I think was completely targeted and staged.
Fist fights with who?
Just, people that weren't from around my area. So I knew everyone on my block. I'm an observant guy. And, I get to know the neighbours. And it's, Ellenbrook's it's a funny little town, but it's not where people would be walking the street in their kind of like black dress and heels. Especially the street that I was living on. And this woman kind of walked past, and a young mate of mine that was there, he goes, oh, this woman's coming. He goes, come check this out. This bird, she's, it's about 7:30 at night. She struts past with her handbag. And I was like, and we kind of just, because there's a little part out the front of my apartment type thing there. And we just sit out there and, either look at the stars, just watch the world go by. And it was pretty slow out there. Anyway, this woman was just completely out of place. Anyway, so we see her kind of, about half an hour later, she comes down this side of the street, and then she just runs off, no apparent reason up the street. And we're look at each other and go, huh, pretty weird, it must be on the crystal meth, as we're in the ice epidemic down here in Australia. Anyway, so we go back inside, and then we notice that, my girlfriend, his girlfriend are talking to someone. So we go at the front, and it's the same woman, and she's there, and she's in tears. She's going, my boyfriend's got taken my phone, and I don't know where I am, and I've got 7 kids, and And I've come out. I said, okay, I can see the situation. I was like, do you need a taxi? Do you need an Uber? And she's like, my boyfriend took my phone. I was like, okay, I understand that, but do you want one of the girls to give you a lift home? Like, where are you from? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know where you're from? I was like, everybody, back inside, just back inside and close the door. Anyway, we that didn't happen because down the road comes marching, Mr. Baldhead, like military steroids, the whole lot, and he's strutting down with intent. So I go down the steps and I was like, yeah, g'day, mate. How are you? I'm Arron. He's like, oh, I'm Mark. And I was like, okay, mate. I was like, I said, this is my little part of the street. And I said, I think, your girl's down here. And, if you could, give her a phone back and be on your way, that'll be bonza, Anyway, he comes down there and he starts ranting and raving at her and she starts going, all right. Anyway, so I'm trying to get all of my people, it's only a couple, back inside, okay, let's go, wrap it up. And this guy's turning around, he goes, mate, you don't understand. She cheated on me and blah, blah, blah. I said, mate, at this point I was like, mate, I don't give up, get out of here, like, move on. And anyway, I think it was at one point that this guy was just intent on bashing a girl. You could see that, right? So he I think he put a hand on either my mate's girlfriend or my girlfriend, and then the girl that was kind of running around with her handbag, kind of his damsel in distress or whatever. All of a sudden, she just takes off, bolts around the corner. So my hero missus bolts off after her. My dog goes after her. Young mate takes off, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going as well. So I take off, and by about the third bend, I'd gone past everyone, and this guy just got he's missed his handbag, and he was just about to kick off, and I just cut in between them and just sorted him out. And Miles, I know how to handle myself, so I didn't. Open-handed him and half knocked him out and said, "Okay, right, that's it." I said, "Everybody, get back inside now," because this is it just seemed like a set-up situation. Like it just dropped right at the front of my house, and I don't know whether that is part of when they kind of activate people by satellite or monarch programming. Because
I don't know. Some people call it gang stalking.
No, I had gang stalkers because they came, and across the road there's a primary school, and me and my best mate were sitting out there just watching the sun come up, because all this crazy shit was going on since the bank stuff, and these people that kind of were dressed like cholo Mexican gangsters come down the side street, and I'm like, and it's my block, I kind of know what's going on. So I said, oh, this is out of place. I said, hey, mate, check this out. So they kind of sit down on the street curb, put their bags down, and then they get out their phones, and they're holding their phones. They start recording us. And I said, get out of here. I said, go on. I said, I know what you are. I said, off you go. Like, so they went across the road and sat down in the school car park and did it again, and got their phones out, and they got their lunch out, like they were going to set up, and they were just going to take some video. And there was 5 cars that would be parked across the road at this school day and night. And I just think that they had direct energy weaponry trained on the house because it definitely...
How do you know that? How do you know that that's happening? Where does this come from? This just sounds like just a domestic type of a situation, whatever. Explain that.
No, because...
I'm going to push you on this now. Where does the secret space program come in?
Well, that secret space program, I didn't even know that I was in that at this stage. But, this once these transactions came out, mate, like we had all types of ridiculous stuff happening on the street. I got pictures of a surveillance van that was just there for 6 months, and there was something stuck to the back of it that had a blue light that was recording. I'll send you these photos afterwards.
Now, how did that manifest? What did that exactly look like? What was? There's other people we know who've had these kind of vans. Did they have, for instance, metal doors on the back, or the imitation metal doors?
No,
stuff like that.
White tall van, very long one. At the side had curtains, but you could see under it, there's all these kind of electrical wires and everything there. But on the back window, there was like a square, like almost looked like an iPad, like stuck to the back window, and it had a blue light on. Like it was recording. Anyway, we used to be at the front of my place, and you'd catch these people going to the house number 96 at the end of the street. They would sometimes be going between the van and the house, like with a bag of clothes or whatever. We were under surveillance. I mean, we went in and showed lawyers that we're at Mills and Oakley, the lawyers in town. We showed them how the bank opened the accounts in forged signatories and this kind of stuff. And then we showed them the transactions. And this guy at Mills and Oakley kind of said, well, you would be under AFP surveillance for at least 12 months.
Explain what those initials means.
Australian Federal Police, like he said, yeah, you would be, and we noticed cars that because my business was still running, and we're going because there's a guy in a Volvo parked across the road sometimes, and school's finished at 7:30 at night, and there's this one guy, and he's in his black Volvo, and he's just sitting there just watching our house. And, we'd be going off to like a meeting with a logistics company because we're looking for a new shipping company. And, old mate in his black Volvo would be kind of like 3 cars behind. And I kind of noticed this stuff, the guy in the pest control or the extermination.
You're talking about a car that keeps other couple of cars behind you, but the third car or the car further back is tracking you. So the other 2 in the middle keep varying, but the one behind that's really tracking you.
The guy that's tracking. Yeah, he's just kind of playing it smart and like kind of keeping 2 cars back. The other 2 cars in between are probably irrelevant, but it's the same guy that we see just sitting across the road facing our house, just watching. So getting back to the direct energy weaponry, my partner at the time was ex-military communications. So she'd always waste all my money on this. Old military tech that would now be available on websites for anyone that wants to kind of, try and be a city soldier or whatever. Anyway, so she gets this bionic ear, right? So it's the listening device with a big, and you can kind of hear through walls and stuff like that. Anyway, it got to the point, at one point we would switch that on and it would just squeal in your ear, like just high-pitched squealing. So like there was energy being trained at the house, pointed at the house, and, to mess with your basically make you feel like shit. Is what it does. And at that point in time, it was probably the longest I hadn't been in the gym, probably only like 2 months or whatever. I was eating Red Rooster and stuff, and I was just like,
"What's that?
What's that?" It's like chicken. It's like a greasy chicken and chips. And okay. So and like big thing for me was like when they got these little cars that Red Rooster now home delivers. I'm like, yep, like daily. Bring the chooks and the chicken rolls and stuff like that. So I was getting a bit of a paunch around the stomach, and just so I was eating like crap, feeling like crap, and but there's, other sometimes more sinister characters that were watching, the house as well. Like,
well, I'm going to bring in one of your pictures here because you're sort of looking a bit fitter, yeah.
But that's me at the Rio Olympics outside of the German house because I was there as a sponsor of the German Olympic weightlifting team. And what you're seeing here is quite often, if you zoom in on the right side of my face, it's kind of shape shifting, and there's almost like some of the reptilian scarring and stuff around the eye. And
the other little thing is, I notice this is going to annoy me. Your name's spelled A-R-R-O-N. I'm calling you A-A-R-O-N.
Yeah, but that's all right, mate. It's a common mistake. But you've looked at the top of the bank statements, and that's a key indicator that I didn't actually open those accounts because I wouldn't spell my own name wrong, but it's spelled A-A-R-O-N, like the Bible. But I'm not.
Oh, so basically, I'm spelling your name from the bank statement, and that's a mistake.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. This is important because on search. Okay, so you are A-R-R-O-N, and the way what they've done is done it the other way around.
Yeah, so because if they're trying to tell me that I opened those accounts, and apparently I spelt my own name wrong and got my own birth date wrong, so but they claim that it was me that did it, and it was done at a branch that I've never stepped foot into in my life. But we'll well, to be continued. Westpac Bank, not finished. So anyway, what we're up to, Miles? Okay, Nuremberg rallies. We went down to Nuremberg, and really Nazied it up towards the end of our German trip. So we went out to the rally grounds. If you want to, if anyone seen the movie Triumph of the Will that the Nazis released. And spearheaded the big Cathedral of Light. I
was trying to find one of those original pictures, but the only one I've got here is PDF, and I can't just get that on screen right now. But we'll look at it. Right, is this correct? This picture,
right? So there was 3 pictures taken, and
this is the same picture. And I've looked, and the first, okay.
Yeah, the one with all the anomalies in it is the third one, and there's 2 like this where you can see me a clear face, nothing on my head. I think I'm handing it.
Yeah, I mean, I've blown this picture up a lot, and you can see your eyes and your face. So this picture on the bottom is not. Yeah, it's a very large blow up from those other 2.
Yeah, it's normally a bit clearer than this. I mean,
you're seeing it on a camera point. Okay, we'll go to the next one, which should be it. Now that's a huge difference.
If we can go back, I just want to point a couple of things out to the other ones.
Okay.
So old mate here on the right in the brown, the cargo shirts, short pants, and that. Keep an eye on him, and the crew over here on the left. Keep an eye on them. But then there's 3 photos taken like. Click, like when the iPhone and that, bang. So there's 2 with me, my arms out, stretched like this, and then the third one I've done the Hitler salute, not the kind of Sieg Heil, because towards the end of the war when he was kind of like, he just kind of, I know, yeah.
Do you want me to mix to that one now?
Yeah, because I go there.
Okay, now you only actually sent 2 of you standing at the Nuremberg thing, but this is...
Yeah, because the earlier one was just an exact replica of the other one. Okay. So this is where I'll throw my hand up like hit this salute. Now, some people say that it looks like I've got a flat military cap on and black lapel and stuff like that, but other people can see a face coming through there. Over my face, there's a moustache. That's what I'm thinking because I would see a guy in a soldier's uniform when I look at it first, but then people kind of pointed out saying no, you can see the eyes, like the brow, and then the nose, and then the dark kind of mustache, and people are saying that's Hitler's face, like that's his face, and I'm like,
it's not the best fuzziness on this, but I mean we are dealing with a processed picture sent over the internet and then
I mean, it just didn't make sense that on the one that I kind of did the Nazi salute after having 2 very clear pictures. Like this happened, and what's this kind of? I mean, I know there was kind of darkness.
Okay, there's again the picture at the same picture, same place a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, like it was split second, and then bang, like we're distorted. And now the guy off to the right, there's no way he could have moved out of that frame that quick. That was a nanosecond. So that guy's teleported out, gone. And which Jessica Ariel Morocco said that guy is a time traveler or a clone, and he did just gone, because she was the one that pointed that out. She said, "Where's he gone?" Yeah, he's moved very quickly. Now, over on the left, the group to the left. Now, this, if you zoom in on this one in the red here, and this is a bad distortion, it almost looks like that his cloak's fallen off, because if you kind of zoom in on what part is head.
Okay, I'll do that in post. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like to me, it looks like it's almost Zeta Reticuli. It's got the big black eyes and a very shaped head that comes down to a point, like with a small mouth and that. And I think somebody's disguise fell off in that third photo.
So the picture with the distortion over your face
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the group to the left and the person in the red, it kind of looks like it's got a head of a grey and it's looking straight at the camera. Two black eyes, and it looks like your typical alien head that you'd see on a bumper sticker in America or something. Yeah, no, small mouth and yeah, pointed chin. But yeah, have a look for yourself. See what you think. Maybe I'm just trying to see something in something that's not there, but I don't know. I don't.
Okay,
I just
well,
got to look at it.
you've
Look at
got a picture of a drawing.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
So after I did James Rink's interview on James Rink's show, Super Soldier Talk, a lot of people contacted James and this lady, I think it was Renee Baker or Barker, and she was a clairvoyant psychic. And when she was watching, she said that she really could resonate with me, like she knew me from Dark Fleet, had definitely had interactions with me before.
okay, but
But
let's go to the picture. There it is.
yes, okay. So
I have
this
to say she's
entity,
quite tasty. I think I recognize somebody.
well, that's
I better not say who.
that's
There.
no, that's my. I said my partner's true form, and she said correct, but she said this being came to her after my interview and was kind of. I don't think she said that she spoke to her or whatever when she reached out to this being. The being disappeared, my partner's currently incarcerated in prison, but she's got green eyes, which is quite uncommon, and she does get the reptile vertical.
But are those sort of angelic type wings that's on this
Yeah,
pencil drawing? I did have to
yeah,
make that a little bit brighter for the PowerPoint.
yeah. So that was interesting for me as well because I thought that we're Drake positive Dracos that have incarnated here to help humans, raise their vibration or whatever. But I said, are they feathers on the wings? And she said, yes, they are. I said, well, it's different. She said, well, yeah, she's your twin flame, and that particular tribe, you're the leader of the tribe. You're a scientist. This is your girl, and that's your true form. And she said that there's a ship off planet that's got a nest of these reptilian beings there. My crew. She said since this being came to her, my crew have visited her and had a talk to her and told her all of these things that I've just communicated to you then. And it's a tribe of Draco. And she said that we're here to teach humans that they 12-strand DNA, and we are here to raise their vibration because we can kind of do that without touching people or administering any supplements or anything like that. We can kind of just with our energy affect. And I've found, like, Miles, since I'm going through that kind of what I was saying with the frequency and stuff like that, like if I kind of interact with someone and kind of let my energy go, it does really have an effect on them, if I want to raise them up, kind of thing. They feel my frequency, and they, there's a bit of an aura or power around me now. So, that's my belief anyway. But so yeah, that was she did a reading as well. There's about a 37-minute reading that she did. Because the interview with James Rink really resonated with her, and she's a lovely lady. I sometimes call her up and we have a good chat about things. And so she said that she was the one that said that the stuff that's been happening to me, I've been targeted because they want me to shut up. They want me to stop talking about the bank. And that's why even we had a car accident where a car came, hit us from behind and just rammed us straight into a power pole. And if you look at the car wreckage, I'm front seat in one of the smallest cars that goes on the road. It's called a Nissan Micra. And when we were kind of clipped from behind, and we were going pretty quick because this car come up behind us, and my mate that was driving said, yeah, this car was coming up behind us pretty quickly, and he kind of sped up, and I kind of because we were just taking off from where we left, and I said, well, mate, there's no point having an accident. Why don't you just pull over, and if they've got a problem, and as I finished saying that, I just kind of got my seatbelt and went clip just before, split second, I just clipped in my seatbelt, and then bang, we got hit from behind, and our back tyre shredded. It was quite professionally done, like a pit manoeuvre, and the car just off the side of the road, and just there was a power pole that was just dead centre coming straight for me. I just remember seeing this power pole going, okay, this time I'm going, exit stage left, see you later, and then bang. So I mean, there was almost a little glitch in the matrix, Miles, and bang, the car hit, when the police got there, they kind of said, oh, almost upset that we survived. You guys are bloody lucky, you're lucky. Okay, sorry, mate. Sorry we survived. Anyway, they said 99% of the time the car would have hit the power pole and flung off to the left at an angle, and you would have been dead. Or the other option would have been to fling off to the right. You would have gone into this wall here, and you would have been dead. But somehow the car center punched the power pole bang in the middle, and just tipped up back onto its roof and onto its side. And the chances of that happening are none. This reader said, because I actually say I have had a joke, because the only injury that kind of happened, my mate behind me got knocked out clean, but my right arm at the humerus just got snapped clean through, clean break, bang. I just joked and say, I saved everyone. I just put my arm out for bang. I took it, snapped.
Do you think that was some kind of intuition of some kind? I've corrected that drawing slightly, but
yeah, you know what? I was actually joking about that, Miles, and this reader said no. It was his power that stopped the car. She said it was his power that stopped the car. And, because the car, I mean, it should have flung off to the left or the right, but boom, it just kind of stopped. And, the front was folded up. I don't know how my legs didn't get broken. And there is a newsreel, because I'm a target individual. They put me in the news all the time. I'll send you all the articles. 2019, I've been a superstar in the paper. Nothing nice about me though, but the car accident made the news. A group of four men drove straight into a power pole for absolutely no reason last night. We said, I told the police officer, I said, there's another car that hits off the road. He's like, you hit that power pole 55 k's an hour, shredded tyre. I was like, mate, I said, we got hit from behind, and he just looked at me and goes, 55 k's an hour, shredded tyre. I was like, no worries, bud. whatever you reckon. But no, we actually,
are you suggesting that the member of the police service was somehow disingenuous with his analysis of what you were saying?
Well, you see, he's kind of putting words in my mouth. I reckon because the people that did the pit manoeuvre, it was pretty professional, mate. There were not too many people that, and why did someone rush up behind us? That just like, hey, look, there's so and so, and just pull off the. Nobody. It was professional. I don't know whether it's intelligence agency or government, but the four guys in the car, all have abilities, I'd say, and she did talk a lot about my mate behind me that got knocked out, and he's my best mate, and he gets visions, and he also sees possibly might be a contactee for the blue avians. He sees blue spheres in his paddock and stuff. And anyway, whenever he says that, he goes, I had a vision about you. I always listen up, because he that's his thing. Anyway, he's a super soldier as well, because Renee confirmed that and said that, they're using us in a lot of programs. She said when the vehicle also hit the power pole, she saw very tall black beings mucking around, doing something at the car accident, whether they took us out to do something with us and put us back. Because here's the thing, the accident happened about 10:30 p.m. at night. The driver was rushed to Royal Perth because he had a couple of broken vertebrae. I was taken to the local hospital to sit there with, because when it actually happened, I was like, well, we're still alive. Okay, I'll take my seatbelt off. And then my arm was just flopping around, just dangling. I was like, oh, no, there goes the gym. So they took me to the local hospital where I sat there for 24 hours in pain for them to then go, okay, let's go x-ray it. And then they probably separated it an extra inch by like trying to get my arm up against the x-ray. I'm like, so like, oh, sorry, I'm in a bit of pain here, but I think we know it's broken. Anyway, so then like 24 hours there, they'd be sent to the city hospital where I should have just gone straight there anyway.
Is that where you got that really big scar?
Yeah, I've got a few, mate. I've got one up my guts from being stabbed. I got one on the tricep from the car accident, which they said, it's going. The recovery's actually gone really well. Miles are actually punching the bags and doing Olympic lifting and that now, but I had to be really, really careful with it because they put a titanium bar down there and bolted it in. And the surgeon I got, Dr. Zellweger, actually, and it was, oh, you got Dr. Zellweger, and I guess in the doctors fraternity, he's like, the man, because he come in he had his crew of flunkies or groupies behind him that are all like, he's like a rock star. Comes in and he goes, I understand you like to lift weights, and I said, yeah, on my better days, that's correct. He goes, well, listen here. He goes, if you don't let this heal properly, if you start trying to lift things and do this gym stuff before it's ready, your arms not going to work. Again, the bolts and rivets are going to pop out, and that'll be the end of it. So, don't do it. Make sure it's ready to go. And initially, mate, it was very trying, and just the weakness and stuff in the arm was Okay.
But anyway, we've got one more slide. I think we've run for quite a while so far. So if you want to sort of tie this bit up, there's another picture.
Sure. That's bring it up. Let's have
some people having a nice time. Nice photograph. Somebody really interested in his phone. But there's another thing to the right.
Yeah. So
explain that.
Okay, so this is my twin flame, and she's also a Kruger runner.
Okay, there's two women there. Who do you refer to? Exactly. Describe each one of the four participants. There are four participants here. Okay.
So this is a photo that was taken before my fiance met me. So old chap on the phone is just, his representation of 80% of the world. Didn't see anything, was on his phone doing the Terry text a lot. This is next one across. Given the peace, a reverse peace sign or go forth and multiply sign, which that's a friend of a partner. Now my partner is doing her thing. She's, shape shifting or time traveling, one of the two.
Is that not just a blurred photograph of somebody moving quickly? I mean,
well, yeah, that's pretty quickly to be moving. I mean, she'd have to be moving pretty quickly to leave that. Anyway, she photographs like that
for the sake of argument. Okay.
Yeah, no, well, mate, I believe she's special. Don't ruin her for me, Miles. I'm
ruining it for you. Dreadful.
No, today was a bad...
Playing devil's advocate here. Some people think you're delusional and secret spacecraft doesn't exist, and where is all the evidence for this? That's my
Come on, mate. Come on, mate. This is basis, yeah? You can't, or maybe, do you ever think that you're just a normal person that, there's nothing special? Well, I was kind of hoping that I was different, but no. Now, to her right, that shadow being is an actual real person, and he is he does have colour and that, but in the photo here he's blacked out, he's rubbed out, so I don't know what's going on there, but
that's a clean black shadow there.
Yeah, but it's a real person that he's so but
and the girl who's looking at you sideways, so to speak, the one in the middle.
Look at that's Levi Jade, Christina Bevins. Yeah, my girl.
She's your former girl.
No, she's my fiance. She's the one that's in prison at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, why? What's happened?
Because of these trumped up charges that we're going to face trial for. which come out of nowhere, and what the articles in the paper were about, and
can you specify what those articles are? And because this is part two, in the original bit of that was in part one, could you again explain that now?
Okay, so this is a.
I mean, we're not messing about here on this, okay?
Yeah, so no, this is moving forward from the car accident a few months, and me and my girl were in Geraldton, just having a break before we're going to rip into some business stuff, and we get pulled over on the side of the road, and this guy a police officer had cuffs on me, and my girl said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they said, "You're under arrest as well." And anyway, we get taken it, like they mentioned some stuff. I didn't even listen to it the first time, but it was aggravated burglary, intent to cause harm or did an act causing bodily harm, which is higher than grievous bodily harm. That's the big one we're fighting. It's 20-year jail sentence is the maximum. And then there was stealing along with that. Now this person they allegedly say that there's a victim, a suburb that I've never even been to. Anyway, this guy's got a broken leg. He's a drug dealer that's received a broken leg. And anyway, they're saying that, that was what me and my girl, for a night out, we go and, break legs of drug dealers and take their drugs. And that's what we do. And it just, there's no evidence, like it's a phantom case. But anyway, we both got taken into Geraldton, just the police station, and we're looking at each other going, well, we're going to be out by the end of the day because they've obviously got the wrong people. We're from out of town, and they're just, it's obviously a local thing that we know nothing about. And then, they kind of left us as long as they can without charging you. Like, I think it's something like 16 hours or whatever. And they came down to my cell and they go, "Do you want to talk to us?" I said, "Not really." And they go, "Oh, no." They just slammed the door and walked off. Came back and they said, and I thought, because they arrest you on suspicion initially, and I thought, okay, all right, boys, we'll be out of here now. And they said, "No, we're charging you with blah, 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 blah." And I just kind of went, laid back down on this, this dog mattress bed. And I was like, right, so, okay, this is getting serious. And then we both got transferred out to Greenough prison the next day. So I went out to the maximum unit. She was the only female at Greenough prison, and so she was unit 4. And we had to wait for bail hearings, and I went up for initial bail hearing, and the prosecutor basically started rabbiting on about bikie gangs and this and that, and the judge said, he goes, "I don't care about any of that." He goes, "What evidence do you have tying Mr. Crawford to the incident?" And it's okay. Well, Mr. Crawford, you need a travel plan, because I'm not just going to bail you out here in Geraldton because it's a country town. So maybe you can contact your parents, and we'll remand this for 3 days. We'll come back Monday and we'll have a look at it again. There was a mistake with my fiance's bail hearing, so she was going to have to wait 7 days. So, straight away from the start, there was this, we're supposed to go up on the same day, but then, oops, we're kind of separated. She's got to be a week longer, and I've got 3 days to wait. And then, so the Friday before I was going to go up for bail on the Monday, she got transferred down to the city to Melaleuca prison, where 7 days later she was supposed to go for bail. I went for bail on the Monday, and the prosecutor asked to deny bail because of the seriousness of the charges, and the judge was really good. He said, "Well, look, he doesn't have a criminal record. There's no prior record, and you don't really have the evidence." And because they were saying they had a strong case, but they weren't showing any evidence at all at the time to the incident. So they asked for all kinds of restrictions if bail was going to be granted. That I couldn't associate with any of my friends. It got ridiculous. And the judge said, "I've already removing enough of his freedoms. He's going to be stuck at his parents' house, 24/7 curfew. I can only leave the house in the company of a parent," which is a really strange bail condition that is not really heard of, but they're kind of taking the piss out of me. And I'm like $10,000 surety if I nick off. I can't talk to my co-accused, which is my partner, which has made things really difficult because at one point she was calling people that, I had people lobbing up at my door saying she wants to talk to you and throwing me a phone and having a conversation, a romantic one or whatever. Anyway, I got arrested by detectives because they had 18 phone recordings of me telling my missus that I love her and I support her and, just romantic stuff. And so they said I'll breach a bail. They're going to arrest me and Schedule 2 and I'll go to prison until the trial. But they weren't protective conditions, and I got a female judge, which my lawyer kind of said, look, it's all romantic stuff. He actually proposed to his partner on one of the phone calls, and she just got this big smirk on her face, like she obviously still believes in romance, this female judge. And I said, I think I'm back out. I think I'm free again. So I got bailed out. They upgraded the conditions to protective, and I've been stuck here ever since. And it's just been mistake after mistake with my partner's bail hearing.
To be blunt, are what you're doing now going to be a problem for you in any way at all? I mean, is the current thing that you're doing right now a problem?
Like the Basis project?
I think it's important that I caution you that you make sure you do not say something which is going to cause you further difficulty. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Okay, just want to make that clear. I'm trying to bring the truth out. It's some form. Like someone might. That's why when I contacted you, I said, look, I got to get this because I think it's all related back to the Westpac Bank stuff. They haven't left me alone since then, and I think this is now they're going to try and lock me up. I mean, they locked me up in a mental asylum for things that eventually got discontinued. I had 11 charges or something in 2018, and I was saying I didn't do it. They put me in a mental asylum, so that's where I got remanded in prison there, and I had to wait 2 months. And what was the actual verdict? Were you psychiatrically assessed, and what was the effect of that assessment, if you were?
Okay, so I went in there, and basically they had sent me there, I think, based on some of the aggressive behaviour that I'd shown to the police when I felt in fear. But it's important. I'm forgetting about what you think. What is there? Was there an assessment, and is there a result of that which you can say or talk about? Right. Okay. So there was zero assessment because they started drugging me from day one, and nobody actually analysed the behaviour previous to me getting to Greylands Mental Asylum. Once I was in there, they said, you've got bipolar. You're manic bipolar. You get the highs, but you don't get the lows. So and I was just like, that's rubbish. Anyway, so we basically they said I responded to treatment in there, but this is basically what happened, Miles. I got in there, I was angry, I carried on like a bit of a prickly pear for a week, and then I thought, you know what, because I got needle in the bum and thrown in the padded room. Funnily enough, in that padded room, there's a padded cell, and you're locked in there, and somehow over the years, some people have smuggled texters in there or something, and it's written on the padded cell, there's no one underneath me. And then someone else has written, there is no one beneath me. And someone else has written, there's no one beneath me. And that's probably one of the lowest places you can be. And, so I had to go. I think it's all part of, also your, maybe shamanic abilities or ascension is you get put on the mental health bandwagon, because there's some people in there, Miles, that are gifted, and I think as soon as I got brought in, transferred in, you got like 20 guards walking you in because you're a psycho. There's only 7 cells in the state, and I was cell number 7 because there's only one wing. There's only 7 guys. And, as soon as I walked in there was a guy that said his name's Paul Xavier something Davidson. And people call me Pablo Diablo, but he said something about the Masons and something about the reptilians. And as I walked in there, and I was just like, mate, we just hugged straight away. And this went down in my file is Arron's behaviour is over familiar and grandiose, so this was a simple. I mean, I've gone in there, okay, I'm in a mental asylum, and I'm, there's no use taking it out on someone and this guy had his eyes were open and he was switched on, and he actually told he just played the mental health system like a majority of his life, and he was actually a kind of a pastor or a minister, but he definitely had ET genetics and stuff. But this guy, he was gifted, and I think he was actually there for me to get through that period, because I was like feeling pretty low there, and so, mate, kind of, am I ever going to get out of here? And starting to question whether some of the stuff that I experienced, was, did I have a psychotic break? But the answer was no, because a lot of things happened that then confirmed, so that I wasn't just wigging out or something like that, because other stuff would happen a little bit further down the track, or when I got out of Greylands, that would confirm what had happened, that it was the real deal or whatever. But anyway, Miles, they said I was manic, bipolar, elevated, but don't get the depression. So that's not really a bi in the polar, is it? It's just polar. Anyway, so when I got released.
Where do you get this idea of the secret space program? Where does that come in? Okay, could you sum that up in sort of like a summary?
All right, the secret space program. Okay, so like Jessica Ariel Morocco has said, I'm a Kruger runner. So Kruger Industries is a positive Nazi military contractor, and a runner is a super soldier that can run at supersonic speeds, a step outside of time to get things done. So that's in my file, or Jessica's read that. Now, Renee, who did the reading, said that the money laundering transactions were done by Darkfleet, and they did that. They were using money for technologies, because they're the most technologically advanced now. The Darkfleet is the Nazi kind of Draco secret space program, and they do pick guys that have Draco genetics or have been SS soldiers in a previous life, because they come through with the same kind of loyalty and stuff like that. So,
but isn't that the way it's designed? Isn't it designed that way?
How do you mean?
So you will have that.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But I mean, they because then we've got Adrian Espinosa's Skynet files, which he kind of went into a little bit further, where so my partner there with the reptilian with kind of the feathers. Adrian was saying that our soul matrix is one of the fallen angels. That I'm Zoe, the fallen angel. So I don't know if anyone knows Zoe, who that is, or whatever. But then Darkfleet kind of identified that, because apparently Lucifer's an entity or living being that works within Darkfleet. So and he's not.
Well, for the record, Tim Refat has beaten Lucifer and now holds his powers or responsibilities.
Oh, so he's like the gatekeeper from the out of this first dimensional reality or whatever they think he's guarding. They think that's one story. But I think if somebody saw like a white Draco or Royal Draco walking around, I mean, that almost looks like maybe a depiction of what a Satan or a Luciferian being would look like after he's fall from heaven, because he was one of the most. Oh, look, can I run a theory by it now? Lucifer sat at the right hand of God and was his favourite angel, right? And he got cast out of heaven for being arrogant and blah, blah, blah. Now, when Jesus, he was rocking around doing his miracles on the earth and whatever, and then when God took him into heaven, he sat where? At the right hand of God. And they say that, like, Lucifer's the morning star, but they also call Jesus the morning star, don't they? And I was just wondering, maybe Lucifer did get back into heaven by doing all these good deeds as an incarnate human being on the planet known as Yeshua. And, how would you, if you were arrogant and cast out because you thought you were too good, what would be one way that you'd get back in God's good graces if you gave yourself to save everyone? then maybe you'd go, all right, mate, back you come, because God always does forgive. So the fact that, Lucifer's kind of not forgiven, it doesn't really go with the whole rhetoric, I guess. But that's just a theory that I had because,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay.
just throwing it out there.
So
Oh,
I think that'll tie up part 2.
no worries.
And
I hope
happy days
Yeah.
from a overcast Wiltshire. You wouldn't believe it. I'm actually got daylight coming here. And you're now in the evening where you are.
Yeah, we had a 34-degree day here in sunny Perth, and look, I had some reviews on my first bases, and people were like, it's, a little bit kind of just about normal stuff. So I hope we ramped it up a bit tonight, Miles. And
if you're ramping it up, you got to come up with something definable, which has got teeth to it. Forgive me for using that phrase.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we found out how to use it. It was interesting. It took, I think, about at least half an hour to an hour to get the email with the images in it. So maybe they've been...
Oh, yeah. That would probably be the authorities checking on who I'm contacting and blah, blah, blah at the moment, So, yeah. But I'll send you through those articles. And,
okay.
You can have a look.
Okay, well, we'll call that a day for now.
All right, mate.